Hi, been a little while. I haven't filmed anything in a couple of weeks because I've actually been a bit distracted by some bees.
I had thought C's actually. Sorry.
What I do want to talk about is origins and endings, and I kind of was inspired by a Louis C.K. podcast that he did with Bill Simmons a few weeks ago. Louis C.K. is one of the few people who I can listen to talk about pretty much anything. Also in that category would be Chuck Klosterman. So it would seem that I might have a thing for older, ginger, bearded men. So here's a little bit about what Louis was saying on the podcast. He's talking about his show Horace and Pete.
So I wrote an email to my fans of the show saying, so that was it. Because I didn't want to, when I sent the last episode out, the email that came with it, I didn't want to say, here's the last episode. Because you didn't know how many there was going to be.
Yeah.
So when the 10th one came out, I wanted people to watch the show without knowing they're watching the last episode. I wanted them to have all the feelings of something ending. The way it feels when something ends, which is you don't know what's going to.
That was just an idea that I had never really considered all that much. And I guess it's pretty obvious, and it probably should have. But so much of our lives are actually made up of things where we know sort of the beginning and the end point. Like so much of our day, you think, all right, I have this amount of time to take a shower, this amount of time to get some food. I'll be at work for this amount of time, go to lunch for this amount of time. I'm going to watch this show, which I know what time it ends. I'm going to watch this YouTube video where I can see exactly how many seconds it is. So there's not really that many endings that are surprises to us, but when it comes to relationships, which are pretty much the most important aspects of our lives, I think, that's usually when you don't really know what that endpoint is. And any type of relationship I'm talking about, a breakup or just somebody moves somewhere or God forbid, somebody passes away, but those are the things we don't know. We don't see those endings in advance. And that's not anything that's all that brilliant. I just think I hadn't really thought about how much of our day and lives are kind of according to a set schedule that we have in our heads already. And for there to be like a truly surprise ending at some point is pretty rare, but usually super meaningful in the grand scheme of things. But if you kind of flip that on its head, we don't see the beginnings of things all the time either. And a lot of times I'll think about the fact that we walk around and do things and say things that could have huge impact on other people's lives, or we are saying things that have been impacted by other people in ways that they probably don't even know. Like if you'll notice at the top of these little episodes that I do, when I say 3 minutes, I do 3 like this. In the Coolio video, when he goes 1, 2, 3, 4, get your woman on the floor. So he puts up 3 with these 3 fingers. Ever since I saw that video, I was like, all right, at that time, Coolio was kind of cool. And now it's just a thing I do without thinking of it. I also remember when I was little, I started to tell people that I really liked the Rolling Stones. And at the time that I was saying that, I don't think I could have named a single Rolling Stones song, but the reason I started saying that I liked them was because I saw a kid on an episode of Double Dare tell Mark Summers that he liked the Rolling Stones. And again, that kid looked kind of cool to me, so I was like, all right, well, I'm a Stones fan now. Another one, I have a little habit, or it's become an actual tick, I think, where sometimes you might see me like do this, like do a little neck stretch. And I usually don't actually have to stretch my neck. My neck is usually fine. But the reason I do it is because Jose Canseco used to do that. He would just be going, Now, Jose Canseco has a massive neck. So he needed to be doing this a lot, I assume, just for, his head to keep moving. For me, that's not so much the case. But it's become an actual habit that I have that I do without thinking. And I might do it sometimes if I'm just in a situation where I feel like uncomfortable and I need to just like do something and just do that. But it kind of makes you think if there are things that you have ever said or done that maybe some little kid has heard and then they've picked that up and that's become like a thing in their life. We're all pretty much just copying shit from each other, Anyway, I don't have anything else all that great to say on this one, so I think we'll just let it go. I'll do a new tweet and an old tweet. Okay, I really like this one from the other day. May 7th, 2016. Good derby effort from 20th place finisher, Running Glue Meat. January 28th, 2013. My allergies are acting up, so Chris Brown punched them.